How you guys doing?
You owe me a beer.
That was good. So you guys are tuned in to Stay Fishy Friday. Of course, you got your host here. You've got Josh from OFR.
Big Rich from OFR. Ohio Fish Rescue for the newbies.
Hope you guys are enjoying your Friday evening. Some of you it might be Friday morning. Some of you it might be late night. But we appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in tonight. So let's go ahead and start them off with a mom update.
Oh, yeah. Let me switch to the background.
I got you guys.
There she is. Look at that beautiful smile. I love that. I miss her so much. I just got off the phone with the nursing home, and they said that all the swelling in her leg is completely gone. There's no more swelling. I don't need to ask about it no more. They're tired of me asking about it. So the blood clots are gone, the swelling's gone, and she's back to normal. Her weight is at 102. She's actually 1 pound over her normal weight. So she's completely recovered from what Avon Place did to her. So, and then her bed sore, they said it's almost healed up. It's so good. At first there was some necrotic tissue because the sore came from the inside, and they had to put some sort of bandage and lotion on there that would eat the necrotic tissue, and it got worse and bigger, but it was actually getting better, but it looked worse. So now she said it's all closing up and it's getting real small, and it's you know, they're doing a good job there, but they're terrible at keeping me updated, because the first thing she said is, you know, she said, "This is Jackie, how can I help you?" I'm like, "I'm calling to check on my wife, how's she doing?" And she goes, "She's fine, there's no change. I know you hate when I say that." I'm like, "You're right, I do. I hate that." No one seems to want to give me any kind of answer. So she went on talking, and I asked her all these questions about all the different things, and she told us, you know, all this info. So I just got it 10 minutes ago while waiting for this to start. So yeah, I'm real happy with, what are you looking at?
Little spot up there on the screen. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. So I'm real happy with the progress. Now also, we had one of our members, Sarah Eva. She contacted us and said that she knows this lady that has some hospital bed, some other things that, you know, we might be able to use. So when I bring Tracy home, so she gave me her number. I call this lady. She's so nice, so sweet, and she threw me for a loop because, you know, first off, she says, "Well, I just bought these for my husband 3 months ago, and I can't return them, and he just died." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I am so sorry for your loss." And her words were, this is what threw me for a loop. She goes, "Shit happens." I'm like, "Oh my," I'm sorry for swearing, but I'm like, "Oh my God." I couldn't believe she said that. But so we went to the lady's house. Beautiful house, big old wide, beautiful. All the hallways were wide for handicap accessible. It was a beautiful home. And there was a couple nicks on the wood, on the trim in the corner, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's my husband's wall art he left me." I'm like, "Wall art?" She goes, "Yeah, every time he bumps into it with the wheelchair, and I call it wall art." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that's awesome." So she takes me in, and it is in fact a brand new hospital bed. It's got the things that bring the legs up like this, and, you know, and back down, and then the head can automatically come up and down. It's got sidebars that go up, and, you know, bed rails. And, you know, she gave me the mattress, the sheets. She had like 6 extra sets to go with it. And she had all kinds of things, extra hospital stuff laying around. Then she says, "Do you guys need a wheelchair also?" And I'm like, "Yes." They were talking about, our insurance ain't covering it, but they were talking about a reclining wheelchair that she could actually sleep in, and blah, blah, blah. She says, "I have a reclining wheelchair. It's 3 months old. It's a brand new Quantum wheelchair, and it's a Q8 or something like that. I don't know, but this thing here, if you guys can see, the seat goes up like 2 foot straight up. The backrest goes back. The whole seat tilts back like so. It lays your bottom down, like the bottom seat, and then the back seat almost in a laying position, and it's really nice. Everything's all automatic on it. It's beautiful. So she gave it to us. I'm ready for Tracy to come home. Me and Josh worked on it for 2 days now, making it to the size of Tracy, because it's completely adjustable, and we made it fit, and I readjusted everything, and I even got her a little. We made a hook and put it on there so she can carry her purse around with her and all that. So, yeah, I'm real happy with that so far. The only thing we don't have, and I'm still trying my best to get handled, is a generator for the house, because if I don't have that, they won't release her here if she's on a respirator. You need a backup generator. They won't let me use my portable generator. I've got an electric portable. It's like a 6-hour battery. I could plug her respirator into and then it into the wall, and if the power goes out, it would take over instantly. But if they won't let me use that, I have to have a whole house generator, and that's about $7-8 grand. I haven't found any of my friends that do this on the side or that do this for a living and that can help us, get it cheaper. I'm working on that now. But I also found out that they're not even weaning her off. At the last place, Regency Hospital, they had her up to 24 hours off of the respirator. You need to be off for 48 hours before they'll completely take you off the respirator. This place says, oh, well, she's not stable enough. She goes into, what do you call that? Where she's kind of freaking out and nervous or whatever.
Hyperventilating? I don't know.
Yeah, she hyperventilates, that kind of stuff. She don't breathe long and deep, slow breaths. She breathes real short, fast breaths. So they said, we're not even trying to take her off the respirator. I'm like, I'm never going to get her home if you don't get her off the respirator. She has been, in the last 2 or 3 places, they were all trying to get her off the respirator. You guys ain't even trying? They're like, no. So now I have to, there's nothing I can do about it. I can't get her home without having the backup generator. So that's my next thing I'm working on. So that's all the news I got on Tracy. I haven't had no video contact with them. Josh's friend that works there hasn't contacted us. I've called and left messages. Nobody's, I don't know. So that's all the news I got. But it was pretty good news, I thought, but still disheartening. I want her home. And with everything opening up, all the swimming pools and, the movie theaters and everything, the nursing homes are actually open if the people are able to walk outside. They can have outdoor visits with their families. Tracy can't. She's on a respirator. So I'm waiting for her facility to open back up. But, that's all I got about Tracy. Now, let's move this on. Only because I don't want to get sentimental on you. Emotional, thank you. So, let's move this on to all you people that drink with us on Friday nights. Tonight's drinking word. I wanted it to be one thing, but Josh wouldn't let me have it. He said no. So, it's going to be koi, because we will be talking...
Dual purpose. 1, because it's my mom's favorite fish. And 2, because the big man himself, Shaq.
And you pointed at me and said the big man himself,
Well,
and then you said Shaq.
I thought you were going to take it away.
Okay, guys. You got to keep up with I can't read none of this. Let me turn off the Tracy background. There we go. Now, if you guys have been watching our videos, you know that we went to Greg Woodstock's up in Chicago last week, and we rescued 88 huge koi. Now, the biggest ones were 36 inches. The smallest one was about 2 foot. We rescued 88 of them, or not rescued. Greg told me it was a rescue, but when I got there, Greg actually bought them from the guy. So, now we take them back to Greg Woodstock's place at Aqualand, and he keeps 10 for himself into his koi area. And then he tells me that he's got these 13 he wants me to take to Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal. I'm like, well, sure. That's no problem. So now we go from Chicago to home, 6 hours, 6-hour drive. It took us about 9 hours because we had to stop and do a water change. We've got a 500-gallon tub that's only filled about halfway, so about 250 gallons with 13 huge koi in there, and they were big around as a football. So we get them home, and they were stressing a little bit. Josh had me a whole pool set up. We had filtration on it that had been running on our system. Set up. We're happy. I'm tired. We went to bed. The next morning, I wake up, and you can't see no fish in this pool. It is completely covered in foam. Looks like a bubble bath. They spawned all night, and I'm talking a gazillion eggs everywhere. And the ammonia went through the roof. It was way too much for our filters to handle. So the only thing I can think of real quick is we ran the fish to our indoor pool. Well, to put them in the indoor pool, we had our stingrays in there. We had to take the stingrays out, and we put them into the dog bone tank, but the biggest three we had to put out into the pool. Nobody's swimming in it, so that's fine. They're not, and see, everyone thinks we don't want them in the pool because people might get stabbed. I'm not worried about people. I don't want people stepping on the stingrays. So,
and also, stingrays don't prefer gravel rubbing up against their belly. It actually scratches them and it irritates them. So if you look at a stingray on a gravel bottom, there are some, tiny, fine gravel that they might be able to...
And smooth gravel, rounded pebble type gravel.
But the gravel that's in that pond is big river rock and smaller pea gravel, and it's very sharp.
It ain't sharp. That's rounded off. River rock.
Well, there's flying over the slate and chunks of slate.
Chunks of slate are sticking up, yes. Anyways,
scratchy.
We put them in there for a temporary thing, which is going to be up to a week, I figured. But we got the call from Greg Woodstock. We now have to drive out to Shaquille's house in Georgia and deliver these koi to him. Well, we hurried up and ran because the ammonia was up. I couldn't, on the API test kit, it was up higher than the highest one. Because of them breeding. There was all the excretions from laying the eggs and squirting out the eggs and the bodily fluids from the females. Then there was all the sperm from the males. It was just, it was so pungent smelling. If I didn't know they were going to spawn, I would not have left them alone and went to sleep. So, but anyways, I got the fish out of immediately. Let's turn off this background. Put on the wallpaper. Ooh, eerie.
We're down to 30 people. They're dropping out. Here we go.
There we go. Now we're back. Okay, that's horrible.
All right. So sorry about that, guys. We had a little internet blip, a little power outage here, and we had to get everything back up online. So sorry about that. Now we can.
It's out of our hands, but this internet upsets me so much. We pay for, we got gigabyte network.
Yep.
And it just keeps, once or twice a day, it'll just shut off, and we have to go out there and reset the
Router.
The router and the thing coming in, the gateway. Thank you. And it's terrible.
Alrighty.
Now, what's the last thing you guys heard me talking about? I don't know where I left off. Because I kept on talking. I didn't know we were off.
I know you were talking about the babies, but I don't know when it kicked off for them. So hopefully someone can tell us and we can jump right back into it. Here we go.
Definitely not frozen again. Koi. Consume, people. If you want to hang out with us on Friday night and you drink, you got to pay attention to the
we left off
word.
At the ammonia level.
Okay, the ammonia level was real high. So
koi just spawned. The ammonia level was super high.
Spiked up, higher than the API test kit could show. So if you leave fish in ammonia for any length of time, it's real bad. They get ammonia burn, they get gill burn, they have, if the ammonia spikes, so does the nitrite, and they're going to get nitrite poisoning, which will turn their blood real thick and brown, and they won't be able to carry oxygen to their heart and their brains, and they will just suffocate and die, and their gills will turn all red. It's a bad thing. So me and Josh hurried up and grabbed all the fish. We grabbed one at a time, and we ran to the fish room. We put them in our water, and they spawned again first thing in the morning. Again, the second night. We had eggs everywhere all over our house, all over our fish room, in the 4,400, in the 265, in the 1,000 gallon. But all the fish are eating the eggs. There was nothing we can do about that. But we did water changes on the pool on the back deck where the koi were. we saved a gazillion eggs. They hatched on us, and we have, babies and fry. They've been, 4 days now, and they're growing. They've doubled in size, and I've got 5 fish tanks full of baby shack koi fry. I said koi, consume.
All right, before I forget the names, since we refreshed our stream, we do not have any of the previous comments or the super chats that you guys did, but I do, however, remember a couple of them, and there's one that I missed, so you're going to have to tell me your name, and I will get that for you. But I know we had Joe McBride, and he left a comment for $5, and I do not remember what that said, so tell me what that said. And then we had
sorry guys.
We had Quincy Step for $50. He said to help with fish food. And then we got
Thank you. You're not thanking them for this.
True job.
You have to say thank you.
I'm going in my head. I'm trying to remember as I'm trying to make sure I got everyone. So sorry guys, that little power outage kind of screwed us up. And then we got
yes, it's weird that Big Rich was talking about a generator when we had the power outage. Okay, I don't have an automatic generator, on the house. I have the big 9,000 watt generator. If the power goes out, I have a small generator that runs for like 5 hours on one little tank of gas, and it's a quarter, I think maybe even a half gallon. I don't know. It runs for 5 hours on one tank of gas, and it puts out I think 700 watts. It's enough to run the air in the fish room. So I always start that up real easy and plug the air pump into that. I have one main central air system. So that runs all the sponge filters. And, that runs. If the power comes back on, I'm good. If the power don't come back on in an hour or so, it gives me time. I can go out there, get out the big one, go lug this huge extension cord outside, start it up. It'll run for 24 hours on its, I think it's a 10-gallon tank. 9,000 watt, and I can plug in the pumps that run all the filtration. And then we run another extension cord into the house for the TVs and stuff like that. And, that's for long term. But nothing is automatic, which is what we need. Which I don't think an automatic one would help on the internet going down like that, because it has to reset.
Right.
And then once it resets, you have to refresh your stream
correct
software. So it would still have done the same thing.
So we got Jay McBride. He chimed back in for $5, and he said,
Joe.
Yeah, it's Joe, but his name is Jay McBride.
Oh.
So I'm reading it as it's on screen. And he said, and we're back. And he chimed in again for another $5. Said, no problem, guys. Just said we're still praying for the boss of the rescue. # Team Tracy. That's
Thank
sweet.
you, Joe.
Thank you.
That's very awesome of you. Thank you so much for that. And for calling her the boss. I like that. It made me laugh. Everyone here knows I'm the boss, unless she's around.
All right, so we got Brad for another $5. He said, koi, 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 koi. That's a lot of drinks.
Here's to you, Brad. Thank you so much, buddy.
So we got Quincy Step chimed back in with another $50. He said, gotta hate blinks on the power system, but that equipment can also save a lineman's life.
Yeah.
Well, that is true.
That is true. Got to look at the good in everything. You can't always be negative Nelly on everything. There is good in everything. You just have to look for it. So,
thanks again for the super chat.
Yes, thank you. Jason Edelman says GoFundMe is at 8,300. Yes, but that was basically, it reached 7,800 in the first 3 days. And I had a $14,000 hospital bill. I went ahead and paid that off with the money I had in the bank and the GoFundMe. So now we've got probably $23,000 in hospital bills. And a letter from Parkside Villas saying that they're going to evict Tracy because they're charging $175 a day extra on top of what they're charging Medicaid because they're charging Medicare. She has Social Security disability for her narcolepsy, so she has Medicare. She does not have a code thing like Medicaid. And now, because she don't have that, they're sending us a bill of $175 a day from just Parkview. This ain't all the ambulances has moved her from, the nursing home to the hospital, from the hospital to the next nursing home, from that nursing home to the hospital, to the next. All these ambulance bills came in too. We've got, I'd say it's close to $24,000 to $28,000 in bills in there. So I told them, do what you got to do. you can't get blood from a stone. I'm tapped. I'll do what I can. I offer to make payments and this and that. But then I talked to a lawyer, and the lawyer says, do not make payments, because once you assume the liability, now you're responsible for that bill. So I had to call, and what we're doing right now is getting everything itemized and arguing. Like if they're charging $700 for a toothbrush, we don't want to pay that. And they're going to have to itemize and get these bills brought down lower. I can make payments on it and all that kind of stuff. That's my dilemma. I don't want to worry you guys about it, but that money from the GoFundMe is long gone. That was something Rob's from Aquarium Guys podcast did for us, and that was a godsend at first. I mean, it was a godsend, but I didn't know the bills were going to go there, and I didn't know she was going to be in the hospital this long, and it's just United States' medical is messed up.
So we got Adele Parkinson chimed in for $8. She said, "Happy Friday, much love to you guys. Send my love to Tracy and drive safe to Shacks. Hashtag Team Tracy. Koi, koi, koi. Consume."
Well, she just covered all the bases, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Adele, we love you. You're a godsend to us. Thank you for helping out so much. Tracy she would be proud of you. She would not be let down of the work that you've done and helped out. And I know you like being part of OFR, and it's a status thing, but that ain't pay. And you're doing all this. I mean, you're forever online. I just want you to know we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Very much. Alrighty. What else do you want to tell them about?
Okay. So now we're going down to Shacks, and we have to deliver these koi that I've saved here. And we've got the van loaded. We've got Tracy's sister. Well, she's not actually her sister. She's her best friend, but they call each other sisters. She's coming over and spending the night here so that she can take care. I've got 2 people dropping off things in the morning. So, Fish. So she's going to stay here, feed the babies, because I have to feed the babies every 4 hours during the daytime. So she's going to feed them. Oh, look at them. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. That's Rainbow's mating. So she's going to feed the babies for me, and then she's going to take care of the people dropping off fish for me. So she's going to stay here. She's going to stay here and take care of things for me. And then me and Josh are driving down to meet Shaquille O'Neal. I just love saying that.
SC Aquatics just chimed in for $2. He said, hashtag Lil Rich gonna meet the big man.
Oh, don't think I haven't thought of that, Steven. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to get a picture of me standing next to Shaq, and I guarantee you the thumbnail for that video is going to be Big Shaq and Little Rich.
With a turtle in the corner.
Oh, you stop it.
Oh, man.
All right, how is the video? Someone said it's still messing up. Nobody else has said anything wrong.
Yeah, I think
Brian Rosendahl says prayers for Tracy. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Adele's got an admirer. Wolf Rab says Adele Parkinson is the best. Pup 314 says infinite love for Tracy, or prayers for Tracy. Thank you so much for that. You know what? We do so much in the fish world, and we have police, cop friends, we have preacher friends, we have people that drink friends, we have just young kid friends, we have old people friends. And, it's just awesome how this has brought so many people together. And we're surrounded by good people. All you guys are just awesome, and I love it. I love this. There's so many good people in the world now, It just didn't seem like that before. But now I surround myself with you guys, and there's so many good people now. I love it. Thank you so much. You want to read that?
Yeah, so we got Case 2 chimed in for $10. He said, hey bros, missed you last week camping, but if you and Josh played PIG at Shacks with him, you just might win.
What's PIG?
Pig? I don't know. I'm thinking it's a little basketball game, like shorter than horse, pig.
Oh.
He said it would be very entertaining.
He does have his own basketball court, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me just get dunked on by Shaq. He's probably 6 times my weight. and
A
twice my size.
A little slower in his old age, and not jump as high and land on you.
Right. That would be bad. OFR might not be OFR no more.
Little Rich and Flat Josh.
Alrighty. Yeah, I caught the correction case too. You don't gotta worry about that.
What's that?
He made a spelling error on the.
Oh yeah, no
chat.
problem.
Jay McBride chimed in for $5. He said, "If the Diesel Shaq heard about Tracy's situation, I bet he would be happy to appear in an OFR video to help pump the channel.
Well,
Heard he's an awesome guy."
Oh, awesome! I appreciate that.
We're gonna try. We're gonna try our best. I mean,
yeah, we are taking one of Tracy's favorite koi because I know, I've known her forever. I know what she would do in this situation. She'd be like, "Oh my God, that's so neat! You're going down to meet him." Blah blah blah. Taking one of my koi, one of my favorites, and tell him it's for me. Well, she don't have the availability to tell me that, and I know she would. So we're picking out one of Tracy's koi and taking it to Shaq too as a gift to Shaq, and tell him it's from my wife in the hospital and all that. So it'll be a nice little touching story, and I'm sure he's a nice guy. He really is. I've watched all kinds of videos of him, and he really takes the time to tell people he appreciates them. I mean, he's a good guy. I've seen it a lot on him. So I didn't. You know what I wanted to do was have a 5X T-shirt to give him. I don't have one, and since we don't hold our own material no more in shirts, we order through Teespring. It would take too long. I wouldn't get it in time, so I don't have it.
yeah, that's unfortunate. But we got Audrey Sampson chimed in for $10. She said, "For food for the Phoenix Barbs, would you guys be available next Saturday for a flagtail to be brought to the rescue?" Of course, I will be here.
Oh yeah.
You can bring it on by. You can go ahead and just message me on Facebook, and we'll go ahead and set up a time. That would be no problem whatsoever.
I'm going to Massachusetts, New Jersey, Long Island, New York, Connecticut. I'll be gone all weekend next weekend, and I'm actually going to stop in and see one of my buddies I used to play Destiny with online. We all used to jam together. And his name's HVAC, and my buddy Nesky, which his name is Ed Nesky, and Justin is HVAC. We're gonna stop in and see them because we haven't had the chance, but we've known each other for years and played this game together forever, and we're gonna stop in and say hi while we're there. Thus, I get to do a water change at their house.
Oh Jesus, you guys are screwed. So we got
goodness.
Brad for $20. He said koi about 25 times, maybe more.
Finish what's in your hand.
Right, just consume a whole drink. He said, "Much respect and consume, peeps."
Thank you for that.
Alrighty.
Adele says, "Buy him a 5X T-shirt, have it at the rescue, and tell Shaq he needs to come pick it up."
Well, Shaq did used to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yes, he did. I doubt he'll drive here for a T-shirt, though.
Yeah.
Or fly.
So we got Jeff Beatty chimed in for $100. He said,
"Whoa, another $100? Man, they've been doing that like one a show for the last." You're awesome, Jeff. Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. Quincy, yeah.
So he said for both of you to stop on your way back from Shaq's for a nice steak dinner. Thanks for all you do.
Aw, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate that, but you know what? We don't treat ourselves. We really don't. I don't go out to eat like that. When I go out to eat, it's on. We have coupons for Subway. Get one sub, buy one, get one free. We never go out and waste money on a steak dinner. We just don't do it. All our money goes towards the rescue and everything else. If I was making money to where I had extra spare money and the fish were being taken care of and I had a vet on staff here, and sure, if I got extra money, we'll go out and waste it like that. But we don't waste money like that. I appreciate the offer, but that'll get us Subway like 20 times.
Now you know what that would do.
What's that?
Buy a lot of fish food.
Yes.
So we're actually about to make our So we've been getting these big monster pellets. At first, we loved the Ken's pellets, and now we have a new supplier, and they're out in Idaho. And I forget the name off the top of my head, but the first batch, yeah, something like that. The first batch was actually donated from OSU in the aquatics department.
Remember all them red parrots that came in that we gave out to everybody? He also donated the food that they were feeding their big pacu and stuff there. And they were these big pellets the size of the tip of my finger like this. And
we're going to make a big order, probably order, 10, 50-pound bags, and that should last us a little while.
You know what I want to do? While we're at Shaq's house, I don't know if he'll let me, but if I can walk up behind him and put my hair over his head and get the picture.
I don't know, man. He's goofy enough. He'll probably do it. And he might grab your butt.
Yeah, right. If I could walk up behind him and take my hair and just put it over his head, and then you can take the picture from the other side, that would be awesome.
I can't wait to see what Shaq says when he sees your hair.
Oh yeah, he'll be like rubbing his head.
It's gonna be a great one. So we are going to be doing a bunch of videos on this weekend. Depending, it might be 2 parts, might be 3 parts. Who knows? But you're gonna get his perspective, mine.
For all we know, we might get there and be sitting there for 2 hours putting these fish into the koi pond. Shaq may come out for 2 minutes and leave. We don't know how this is going to go. He might come out there and want to see the fish in the pond and then, actually help us put them in from our tub from the truck, and he might be part of it. I don't know how this is going to happen. So we'll video as much as we can to keep you guys in the loop.
And you guys might get a little sneak peek at the finished product.
Yes, because they haven't put that up yet.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So one thing I did want to talk about. Now, you guys all know about the fish cycle, okay? All the people that have been handling fish for a long time know about the fish cycle, but there's a lot of new people that don't. And here's what gets me. I get a call, and they're like, "Oh, I just got a 150-gallon. Can I come up and pick some fish up?" Well, how long's your tank been running? What fish do you have in it? Oh, there's no fish, and I just set it up yesterday. Well, I can't give you fish. And they actually get mad at me. I can't give you the fish because you don't have a cycle in your tank. You need to do a fishless cycle, which is what we always try and promote. We don't want you to go buy 100 goldfish and put in there and put these fish through stress and all that. But a lot of people do that. They buy fish and they if they die off, but that's not how we do things. We add ammonia every day, and that's a fishless cycle, and you can get it done. I'll teach you how. But these people get mad at me because I won't give them fish when they've got this big tank and all they want is a bunch of fish in it. I'm sorry, I can't help you. Here's the right way to figure out to do your water changes on your cycle and everything. Once you've got your tank established and you have a cycle, the biggest thing I have, one of my pet peeves is everyone's like, "Oh, well, my neighbor changes his water every 2 weeks, 25%. I do it the same as him." Well, how can your water change be the same as his? Are they the exact same fish? Do you have plants? Does he have plants? If he has plants and you have no plants, there's a difference. Do you feed more than he does? Do you feed the exact same amount that he does?
Is your tap water more alkaline or have, different
Is there
minerals
nitrates
in
your tap water coming out? No one can tell me because my cousin does it this way, I do it. That's just wrong. What you need to do, and this is the only way, very important, you want to know what your nitrates are because you got to cycle, your tank's cycled for the amount of fish you have in it. Let's go with that. You want to know what your nitrates are. When they reach 40 parts per million, use the API test, not the test sticks. When they reach 40 parts per million, you want to change that water, okay? And you want to get it down to, 20 parts. So you want to do 50% water change on that point. So you do the 50% water change, and it brings it down to 20 parts per million. Now you have to test every day, every other day, until it gets back to 40. If it takes 2 months, because you're barely feeding your fish, you barely got no fish, and it gets back to 40 parts per million after 2 months, well then that's when you should change your water every 2 months. If it comes back there in 3 days, because of how much you feed and how packed you've got the fish, well then you have to do a 50% water change every 3 days. I mean, you have to learn this about your own tank. And the only way to do that is to do the testing and find out where your nitrates are at. If it's up into 80 parts per million and you do, a 25% water change, you're bringing it down to, 60 parts per million, and then it's going up to 100 parts per million, and you're doing a 25% water change, bringing it down to 80, and it's just every week it's getting higher and higher. And your fish are going to... Thank you. Consume. So, I hope you can understand that, and that's the best way. We have all of our water. It stays around 20% because of how much water, or 20 parts per million nitrates, because of how much water we got coming in and how much is flowing out. We have a pass-through system. So we don't have to do water changes, but we do water changes on all of the quarantine tanks. We got the 550, the 700, the 455 gallons. What else is quarantine? The whole 3-tier system.
Yep.
So we have to do water changes on that. And there's no way of telling because every week it's different amount of fish in there. We have, I have 2 FX5s on every 125. So we have filtration there, but if I go 2 weeks with hardly no fish, some of the bacteria dies off. And then if I stack it full of fish, now it's going to go through a mini cycle, and there's going to be a spike in ammonia. There's going to be a spike in nitrites, and it's bad for the fish.
Can you change your water too much?
I would say no. As long as you're dechloring your water and you're putting it in there, I don't see any harm in it unless they're getting in contact with the chlorine and chloramines.
There are times we do daily water changes in certain extreme cases.
I'm doing daily water changes on the koi babies right now. I just did all 5 tanks today. And I did 80% water change because I'm not going to be here tomorrow and Pam ain't going to know how to do water changes. So this is to the last 2 days. But I made sure the water was the same temperature and I dechlored it in a tub before I pumped it up into the tank. I make sure the water's good and it's the same pH because it's the same water we use as the pass-through system. So I don't have to worry about that. I don't see a problem with changing water too much. But
got to do it the right way.
Yeah, you got to know because if you're doing water too much, you're wasting money on your electric or your water bill, and then your sewer gets charged the same amount. If you're using so much water, then they do your sewer bill based on how much water you use. When you're not actually using the sewer, you're pumping the water out into your garden or your grass or whatever. You're not using that sewer. So if you can lower down the amounts by knowing and having knowledge of what your nitrates are, then you will know. Because some guy that might be doing it every other day might not need to do it for every 2 months because he has so many plants, hardly any fish, and he barely feeds them. He might not need a water change for every 2 months, 3 months, something like that. And he's just wasting time, wasting energy, wasting time, wasting money. So get to know your nitrates and know what they are and then bring them back down to the right level. I always try and keep it around 20 parts per million. 40 parts can start killing off more weaker fish. 80 parts definitely hurts fish. And, so if you can keep it low, that's great. Just know what you're doing. All these people are guessing. Okay, my cousin does it once a month. I'm going to do it once a month. But it's never the same. There is no 2 fish tanks that are the exact same. Let's say you have the same fish in my tank and the same fish in his tank, and he lives down the street. How do you know that I'm not feeding more or less than what he's feeding? And I may need to do more water changes than him because I love my fish and I want to feed him 3 times a day, and he's only feeding them once a day or once every other day. You need to know your nitrates, and that is the best way of knowing your schedule of when to change water.
All right, so we got K Stu for $10. He said, "How many miles are on that Dodge? It is a legend at this point." So he bought the van with 4,000 miles. It now has 20,000.
Yes.
So that's 16,000 miles of rescue and awesomeness.
And Medicaid, when we applied for Tracy, because Tracy don't really drive, so she has no accidents, no insurance. No speeding tickets or nothing like that. So I put the Dodge in her name. Feasible thing to do. I trust her, Now that we applied for Medicaid for her, they want the Dodge. They want Josh's motorcycle because that's in Tracy's name. But we're trying to tell these people she has narcolepsy. She can't drive. And if she could drive, she ain't driving a crotch rocket. That's a 2007 Honda 1000 RR. And it's tricked out. That's his bike. She ain't driving it. She's all of 5'2", you know. She couldn't touch the ground on the bike. So, but they're wanting to take the Dodge. They're wanting to take the motorcycle, the Ford Edge that we junked, and the trailer. They wanted to know all of it. I'm like, you can take the trailer. The motorcycle is Joshy's and the car is OFR's. I bought it. I had to come up with paperwork out of my account that I paid for it and show them that I paid for it, and I just put it in Tracy's name. And I don't know what's going on with that. I gave them the paperwork, but I haven't heard nothing from them. So that's another thing that we're dealing with too.
So we got Their World Aquatics, which is our buddy Joe. He just chimed in for $10. He said, OFR 501c3 Facebook group is powerful. Released the first 4 of 9 videos for the 1,000-gallon build-out. Thank you for the exposure. So for those of you that know, he is building the the saltwater sector of OFR, and he has a bunch of tanks set up as is, and he is taking in marine fish. So the person who asked if we can take marine fish, we do. We
have been for a couple of years now.
Right. Well, he said he has a black tip reef shark. So one fun project that Joe's actually doing, he's doing a big lagoon for big saltwater monsters to be able to house them there and home them. And if say we need
would be perfect for the black tips reef sharks.
So we need a place. Say we have a 5-foot moray eel. Hey Joe, can you hold on to this? Sure, bring them on over. You know, we'll leave them there. And while we're calling around finding a home at all these zoos and aquariums, Joe's doing his thing over there. He's only about an hour away from us, so you're going to get some great collab videos if he'd ever get the tanks done.
Yeah, Joe.
but yes, he is upcoming, and once that certain tanks get done, we're going to go ahead and make the announcement go public. But we are rescuing saltwater fish as is. We've already sent them to pick up some Xanthopterus tanks, some groupers, some foxface, just all different types. He had this one guy, he had a 300-gallon tank or something of that sort. He had like engineer's gobies and eels, and he went over there and, you know, rescued them all. And you know, he tries to do things right, and he made sure the water parameters were the same on the salt, the salinity.
He's working with us and doing what we approve of.
So
does he have an OFR shirt?
That I don't know.
Joe?
He better.
He better have an OFR shirt.
But for those of you that don't follow him, go ahead and give him a follow on YouTube and join him as he's building saltwater.
We've been doing the saltwater rescues, but before... Like Joe Rockwell brought it in from Nebraska. It was a 4-foot tessellati eel. We had to find a place for it first, and we had it lined up. So when Joe brought it here, it was in our thing. We had mixed up some salt water, and we did it a fresh water change when it got here, and we kept it in that tub overnight. And then the next day, we drove it out to Pennsylvania. Thank you. And let me see, it was Electric City
Zoo and Reptile Den.
No, Electric City Aquarium and Reptile Den. That's it. And they took it in, and they still have it today. But you know, we had to have homes for them set up before we can go and pick them up. So now with Joe doing this at Their World Aquatics, it's going to be easier for us. We have a place to take them, and if he don't, you know, need them there, or he's got too many of that certain thing, we can still get a hold of the different. We work with 9 different public aquariums now, so we can still get a hold of them and find a place for that fish. But Joe can hold them without us having to pre-mix up salt water, you know, test the salinity, make sure it's the same pH, make sure it's everything, and then have it sitting here for a day. Then we have to go and travel. So this is much better. So we, you know, Their World Aquatics is going to be the saltwater section of OFR, backed by OFR, until Joe messes up.
So there will be great things coming, and we're just getting bigger and bigger. So for those of you that want to bring a saltwater fish, go ahead and get a hold of us. We'll work out something. If you want us to take your black tip reef shark, send us a message. We'll coordinate everything and figure out the best way to get it here or get it in its new home. So we got Joseph Gilbert chimed in for $40. He said, "Thanks for the great videos during the lockdown. Keep up the great work. Stay strong and have a few cold IPAs with this."
Well, nice, very nice.
Thank you, bud. And during lockdown, we were bored in the house, and we had nothing else to do. So we just did a bunch of projects. We did some things for ourselves. We did some fun things for you guys, some informational videos.
We worked our butts off.
As you guys have seen, we've been keeping up the whole adage of trying to release a video every other day.
Have been for 3 months now.
Longer than that.
Longer?
Longer than that.
Okay. Every other day, we're on it.
So we will still keep going. So stay tuned, guys.
This guy here says, Pub 314 says there should always be at least 1 to 5 parts per million ammonia. This is wrong. And up to 20 parts per million of nitrites to feed the plants. Okay. The ammonia and nitrites should always read 0. But every time you feed your fish, all your fish eat, and they all pee and poop and produce ammonia and all that. That's where your plants get fed from and bring it back down to 0. If you're keeping fish in something that's always 20 parts per million nitrites, they're going to get nitrite poisoning. So you have spikes. Spikes are okay as long as they're low. You feed, half hour later, it's back down to 0. The plants eat off of that. The more plants you have in your tank, the better off your tank are. The longer the water changes go in between. So yeah, by saying that, you're telling people that's what it should be constantly, and the way you worded it is wrong. When you feed the fish and all that, there is spikes of ammonia and nitrite because your bacteria will eat the ammonia and turn it into nitrites. Other ammonia or other bacteria eats the nitrites, turns it into nitrates. The only way to get rid of nitrates is either plants or water changes. And plants, you can never have enough in a tank to completely deny water changes unless you barely have any fish in there. You've got a 125 gallon full of plants and you've got 10 fish in there. Yeah, you don't have to do water changes. That takes over.
All right, let me go ahead and stop you there. We're gonna catch up here. So we got Chad Blockling there for $20. Said, "I've asked before."
Okay.
He's expressing. He said, "Is there any chance of doing an episode in the band room in the basement?" Safe travel, guys.
We can do that for you, Chad. Yes. I've had to
Well,
remove...
I think they just want to see you play guitar.
I think Chad's one of the guys that actually requested my band music, and I had to send it to him. There was 2 guys that really wanted it, and I sent it to both of them. But yeah, we can do a show from down there, or at least have the video from back here and a guitar in our hand. If we can put a set of drumsticks in Josh's hands. He's really good on Rock Band.
So we got Reaper chimed in for $5. Your buddy.
What's up, Vince?
He said, "Good luck on the trip. Wish I was going."
Yeah, buddy, that's a long drive though. 10 hours split up with water changes is going to be about 12 hours. And then, you get to meet Shaq and all that, but then you got to get in the car and go home. That's the ride home. And Vince realized this. We drove to Chicago together. And the way home, I told him, I'm like, the way home is always going to seem longer. He's like, nah, it's the same, 5.5, 6 hours. And I'm like, okay. We got about halfway home. He's like, man, this is dragging. I'm like, I told you, the way home is always twice as long.
Someone's asking what's his YouTube channel again. Their World Aquatics on YouTube. You can find them in the comments below. I'll actually type it out for you guys. But we're going to have to wrap this up for the night. I know we got kind of blocked off here for a couple minutes.
We can go a little extra longer.
We've got
a lot to do. We've got to load the fish. We got to pump the water up into the 500-gallon tub in the van. We have to hook up 2 FX5s to the converter that we installed today.
And move the fish.
And move the fish.
Wait, move the koi! Koi!
Consume. So, and we want to leave here pretty soon. So, Yeah, that's going to be a lot, and we just both got out of the shower. I just got dressed right before you guys, we started the show here. So moving these fish is going to get us fishy smelling, I know, but we have to get on the road. So we can go a little longer, but we don't have to, jump off right away. We did have a spot in the middle to where we can jump in, so and stay on longer.
We got Will Star 7 Gaming for $20. He said for some snacks for your road trip to Shack's.
Awesome.
Wish
Will,
I would have
thank
gotten
you.
over that there today. Just got back home. So Will was supposed to stop by today, and he texted me and said that his daughter was in surgery. So I hope that went well,
I hope that went well, buddy. Don't want to hear nothing like that. He said he just got home, so I'm taking everything's okay now.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Joe McBride says, what basic water test would you guys recommend for beginners just to know if their water is safe for fish? API Master Test Kit.
It's really the only one. There's other master test kits you can go out there, but API is the one you can find in almost any pet store around the world, and they're fairly cheap, and they pretty much do everything that you need to do. The water 5-in-1 test sticks, those things can be so inaccurate.
And they
crazy.
go bad so quick. And if you leave the cap open a little bit and the air gets to them, they just go bad. They're very unworthy of keeping and using.
So I'm a desert cactus. Stillwell said don't drink and watch the show. He said wait, I mean drive. See, the show got me drunk.
Well, Josh wasn't drinking tonight.
Yeah, I will be driving through the
I
night.
drank one drink because he's going to drive the first 5 hours. I'm driving the second 5 hours. So one drink after 5 hours will be gone out of my system. Don't worry about it. We plan these things, guys. We know what we're doing.
I figured since it's during the nighttime, he is blind in his left eye, so it messes with him, all the lights coming at him.
Well,
so
no,
I figured
I'm
I'd
blind
drive
in the
at night.
left eye, and my right eye is blurry as can be. So I see, taillights look like big stars. They go way up. It's just fuzzy and blurry, and it looks like it's horrible. So driving at night kills me, but I can't get away from it. If he drives the first 5 hours and I drive the second, or if I drive the first 5, I'm still driving at night, all night. So it don't matter. I've learned when cars are coming at me, I look at the white line on the side of the road and keep my car straight. With that, I follow like trucks and stuff that are in front of me so that the lighting stays there and I can tell which way the road goes. Because it does get dark in like Pennsylvania highways. Oh my goodness!
So let me go over something here. Usually when we go on long fish rescues, it's either I'm on the trip or he's on the trip. We've always shared our stories. I've been driving for 26 hours straight. I'm dead to the world, and usually it's all him or it's all me. Now, we'll both truck through it. We'll both grit and bear through it. We'll stay awake. We'll do what we need to do to get these fish there safe and on time. And now I think this is the first time we've went on a long journey rescue together. So
In forever.
Yeah.
Which my son don't like doing these things, so it's always me going, and he's at home taking care of things. He'd rather do that. So I haven't pushed him to do rescues, but since Shaq's involved, all of a sudden he wants to go now.
I don't know what you mean. I was just on rescues in New York and all
That's
kinds
2
of
hours
stuff.
away.
That was 4 or 3. I don't know, whatever.
3.
But I always
Okay.
go on rescues, so stop it.
Okay. Let me see here who we got. Bambi B says, Josh, hit me up as you're driving back. It's on your way. Please drive safe and have a safe trip. Who's Bambi?
I have no idea. Their World Aquatics.
You know Bambi, he is single right now.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Joe, that is not your motto. You might think that, but I think my fish will still eat yours at this point. He said, we don't say stay fishy, my friends. We say my fish will eat yours. That's not very friendly, Joe.
No. Oh, my goodness.
Alrighty. Let's get a few more questions in here. I passed a good one up. That mold is going to look tiny next to Shaq.
How could this look tiny, you know? Come on. Wait, I got more in the back here.
There we go. Alrighty, so do you guys want to get a few more questions in before we go ahead and sign off for tonight? Oh, I missed one. We had Adele chime in for $3. She said, "Please drive safe. See you all at Shaq's."
Thank you, Adele. And I always try and send my moderators, you know, here we are at Shaq's, you know, little previews of what the videos are going to be, you know, so they get a little something out of it. So thank you, Adele.
Alrighty.
Got to put the Pima on the rescue vehicle? Yes, I do have that still, and I'm going to do that. Their World Aquatics says sharks are coming?
Or he's saying sharks are coming. Alrighty. Any fish you wouldn't rescue?
Absolutely not. We have gone out of our way to make sure we don't sell fish, and we do not say no to any fish, ever. We are a rescue. We're not a couple of collectors that want free fish. We are here for the fish. We will rescue them. We will find them a home. I don't care how messed up it is. I won't shame people for the horrible conditions the fish was in. I will just come and rescue it because in the end, they did the right thing and called us, and we will find it a good home or keep it here and take care of it.
So my buddy Jeff on here, he sent a message and said, "You should get Shaq to say Josh is the ultimate fish keeper on video." That would be awesome.
Matt couldn't top that, could he?
Is that a green screen in the background or a real fish tank?
Okay, that is a real fish tank, but it is a green screen. That is our 150 gallon. Here is what it looks like with nothing.
It's just black.
Yeah. Well, it's actually green, but the computer's making it black.
Yep.
We've got the 4,400 gallon tank there. We've got the 150 gallon tank. We have the Angel tank. Let me turn that one on.
Which is kind of outdated. They're now in the Globe tank.
Yeah.
So
and
we're
then we got
some new
Pittsburgh
videos.
tank. And then we got the Tracy slideshows. And then we got our Erie wallpaper, which is this one.
Blast from the past.
Yes.
Alrighty. We have in Palette Scraper said you guys are awesome, a true inspiration in so many ways outside of the fish keeping.
Well, thank you. You know, we try and set a good example. You know, live the good life, help as many people as you can, help out everybody. Stop with this negativity. Don't do things to hurt other people, and then, you know, pay it forward, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, help out the fellow fish people and the fish community. We try and set an example by living our life that way, and that's why you don't hear me swearing so much no more. Because I don't want to be swearing in front of all these little children that are sitting there waiting in line to get my autograph at different fish shows and stuff.
So look at the koi. Did I just say koi?
You said koi.
I said koi.
I think you said koi. That's like 5 times. Consume, people.
Alrighty, so Adele popped in. She with another $3. She said, "Get Shaq to say Josh is the ultimate fish keeper on vid."
Oh, we'll
I
try.
will surely try. That's
Thank you,
for
Adele.
sure.
You got to read it.
Cool. I'm getting to it. I'm scrolling.
Okay.
Aaron Cazzoli chimed in for $10. He said,
Thank you, Aaron.
"This is for Josh to take Bambi on a date. Love this show. Love what you guys are doing. Hashtag Team Tracy."
Thank you, Aaron. But I think he's kind of insinuating that she's a cheap date. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said
terrible.
that. Bad host. Bad host. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. I'm sorry, Bambi. I did not mean that at all.
All fun and games here. Vivity's Aquatics said you both got out of the shower. Separate showers, I hope.
Oh, yeah. He's got a bathroom in his room. I got a bathroom in my room. We got the spare
Tankless
bedrooms
hot
here.
water heater. You never run out.
Never run out, yeah.
So that there's no yelling at people, you know. You took my water. Alrighty. Kathy Murphy chimed in for $4. Said, "Where are you getting Pittsburgh's girlfriend from?"
That will be on my trip next weekend over in Long Island, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. It's one of the stops out there.
from a guy named Eric, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Eric, yep. So
I don't normally put that kind of information out there
well,
for everybody.
he chimes in all the time on the chat, and he might be here. So just wanted to say it. Laura Swingle chimed in for $5, and
Laura's here.
She posted some unspeakable words.
Did she? What?
You gotta read it, because I can't say it, because it's not in me.
It says, Josh is definitely the ultimate fish keeper. No, she's dating Matt, so that's Matt's girlfriend, and she said Matt's the ultimate fish keeper. Thank you, Laura. This is a feud going on between them, and it's more for fun than anything else. There's no real meaning in it.
But Matt hasn't posted a video in a very long time.
Yeah,
so.
Laura. I say that's your fault, honey. All right. Too Rare to Live says, bye, good night. It's 2 a.m. here in Germany. Well, thanks for watching, buddy. I appreciate it.
See, I told you, Eric.
Go ahead, go to bed.
See, I told you Eric was on here. He just popped in, said, yo, from Long Island. See you soon.
This weekend, Eric, I'm putting as soon as I get back from Shaq's, I'm putting next weekend's trip together. So you would have got a call, say Monday or so, and asking what's the best time, because I've got 7 different stops, and I've got to get people's schedules worked out. So I'll be talking to you Monday.
Matt can't be the ultimate fish keeper with no bids.
and he's not friends with Shaq.
His own girlfriend even said he is a slacker. Oh, God. You guys are funny.
Well, Laura, before he met you, he was putting out videos. I'm just saying. I don't know what you've done to that boy.
Hi, guys. Can you tell me what's your opinion on lava rock as filtration media?
Okay. I've wanted to talk about this for a long time. Lava rock does work, okay? Very minimally, but it works. Here's the reason why. There's a million holes in lava rock. The only place that bacteria can live is where the lava rock touches the bubble and then the water touches the bubble, okay, for that hole. That's the only place. The bacteria need the oxygen and the water. So a trickle filter is so much more efficient. When you go through the bioballs or the K1 media, there's on every bioball, there's almost a mile of surface area that bacteria can live, and water drips past them, and they're exposed to air and water. So yes, lava rock works, but it's nowhere near as efficient as bioballs. And there's plenty of other different media too that I don't use, the ceramic things and all that kind of stuff, because to me the ceramic things, they're a round cylinder and you can get to the outside of it, but you can't really pass through the inside. Even if there's a hole down the center of it, you still got some inside air bubbles in between there that no water and bacteria can live in. So I completely, I've been running 2 garbage cans full of bioballs for 10 years at the rescue for 90,000 gallons of water. And they've been working. They're very efficient and they work great. I do have lava rock in the 4400. It's more for aesthetic reasons, not filtration reason. Because if you look at them, every hole's got a little bubble on it, and then right around that ring is the only place that the bacteria can live. And,
there is one upside to using lava rock. It's not all bad. Yes, it's, there's better options for, biological bacteria. But if you have it in a separate chamber with slower moving water, that's going to create pockets for anaerobic bacteria to grow. And if you have the space to put mass amounts of, lava rock, small pieces, or even big pieces in like a sump in a slow moving chamber, that could potentially create the environment for anaerobic bacteria to grow and slowly eat out nitrates. Not at a high rate, but that's a possibility. So that's my 2 cents. So we got Eric Hatish chimed in for $20.
Is it Hatish or High Tech?
Or Hedich.
Hedich.
I guess we'll find out next weekend. He
Right.
said, can't wait to see you guys come get this puffer fish. Too big. The fish is too big for the tank.
Well, we're going to try them in with Pittsburgh. And if they...
What if they start spawning? Puffers for everyone.
Free puffers everywhere. No.
we went 15 minutes over. Do you think that's enough?
Mark Edmond says, Laura Swingo, if he is too happy to make videos, that's a good thing. Yes, sorta. But people miss Matt in the fish world. He was Matt's monster fish. Okay, the Mulleted Aquarius, nice name, says, if you could keep any non-fish exotic, what would it be? Well, we sold our monkey to start this rescue. We sold our 5 macaws to start this rescue. And we paid for the lawyer and we did all that kind of stuff. I miss my 1 macaw, Big Boy. He was a great bird. I had him so well trained. I tell him, show eagle, buddy. And he would just go, rah, and he'd put his arms out and his wings, and it was just really neat. And, you know, I could pick him up by his beak and set him on my arm. He'd flip upside down in my arm. I could pet him on his belly. He just trusted me completely, and I missed that bird. And I missed the monkey. The monkey was a butthole. Mm-hmm. He tried to bite strangers. He didn't like people, you know, and every girl that would come over would be like, oh, he's so cute. He's only about this big, little marmoset monkey. He's so cute. And they'd put their hands on the cage. I'm like, don't do that. He'd run up and he'd bite him. That's his cage. Don't touch it. You know, so as long as you didn't touch the cage, he didn't bother you. But people don't. I try and tell them. They just don't listen. So he was kind of a butthole that way. But,
so we got, sorry, I'm not even going to try and butcher this name. I'm sorry, but he chimed in for $2. He said, you inspired me to get back on keto. Big hugs.
Nice, thank you. You know, I've lost the 75 pounds on the keto diet, and I'm kind of hit a plateau. I've been at I've lost 75 pounds, and I've been this way for like 2 weeks now. So I'm going to have to kick it up a notch and actually eat smaller portions and start working out, do something different. I know I said this before. It hasn't happened. I have to do something different to get any more results because, you know, just eating the way I've been eating, it got me down to here, but it stopped. I hit a plateau. So if you're losing weight, great. It makes you feel 100% better. I get up off the couch by myself now. Trace used to always help me. I put my own shoes and socks on now. She used to always do it for me. So, you know, it's a world of difference. I've got a lot more energy now. And if Tracy was here.
Alrighty. So we got Marvin. Marvin said, can I sponsor the Paku tank? Well, the Paku tank is non-existent right now. So
at the moment.
You can sponsor any tank that is up and running right now, but there are 3 tanks that are accounted for. The plaques are actually made and are in the mail, so their sponsors will start as soon as I can get the plaques on the tank and make a post for them.
Because once you sponsor a tank, it don't start the moment you give us the money. It starts the moment we get your name on the tank. That way you've got 1 month of advertising on that tank, whether you're from a pet store or, you know, another YouTube channel or whatever it is. You know, you want to sponsor the tank for the month, it don't start until we get your plaque made, and then when it's done, we mail you the plaque. So you've always got a keepsake of it. And if you ever want to sponsor again, you can mail us in the plaque, and then, you know, we can go from there.
There you go. Alrighty. Where is I at? I lost count.
Their World Aquatic says, please no turtles. We take in turtles too, Joe. Don't worry about it. We're not passing them on to you. We've got plenty of people that have nice places that want the turtles.
Talking about that turtle.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut. Oh, one last thing, guys. Again, I mention it every week, but we are past the halfway point on the Dwight Howard tank raffle. There is hardly anybody that has signed up for it right now. There is
2,500 in sales.
Yeah, so there's 100 people who signed up for this tank. So your chance right now is 1 in 100.
That's crazy.
That is crazy odds to win this tank right now. So get your raffle tickets in. The tank will be delivered to your house and set up by yours truly, us 2 beautiful men right here. And
Did you just call us beautiful men?
Yes, sir. So we will come in your house, help you set up the tank.
Kind of pushing the envelope. Yeah, I just saying.
Well, I speak for myself. I'm sorry. Alrighty, so the link is below. Adele just posted it, so go ahead and get your tickets before it's too late. We are less than a month away from picking a winner. But I am going to go ahead and call it a night.
Now, hold up. We got Jack and Dan, which is friends of ours. They said we want to bring a whole bunch of koi food for you guys when we come next week. What kind do you guys use? Whatever you can find and buy in bulk, it's cheaper. The koi really don't mind. We don't go out and buy the best of the best food and spend the most money on it. We get them what, they tolerate and like, and they will eat, and it's a good deal. So we don't have a really special brand right now. We still have a cooler full of product that people have donated, and we just mix it all together, and then we feed our koi with that. So, it'll just mix it in with the tub, and it'll be fine. Thank you, I appreciate it a lot.
Alrighty, but we got to go ahead and get up off here. We got stuff to do. So
yes, we're going to Shaq's house.
So,
I love it.
I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's stream. You guys have to stay tuned to see what we get into, what kind of shenanigans happen on our long voyage down
We
to
might
the big
even
man
do
himself.
a live stream while we're there.
Possibly, we shall see. But you guys are going to have to tune back in and tune into our videos. So
Adele bought a ticket, and she's in Australia. We can't deliver that, Adele.
yes, ma'am. Alrighty, so I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always,
Stay fishy, my friends.